This is Kings River Life magazine, and we are in downtown Fresno at Common Space, speaking with Common Space's founder, Justin. What is Common Space?
Common Space is a nonprofit incubator here in downtown Fresno. We opened up on April 2nd, and our goal really is to bring the community together. So on top of being an incubator where we offer assistance to nonprofits with a budget of $100,000 or less, we also host events, and we also have meeting and event space that's available for use for our community for free in our first year.
And where did you get this idea for this type of place?
That's a great question, because it's been a 2.5 year in the making idea. But we knew that we wanted a way that can bring community together that wasn't so specific to a certain population or a certain group. The nonprofits that come here are varied from a variety, from working with children to working with people with disabilities to LGBT plus issues and homelessness. So it's a cumulative effect, but when you bring them all together, it's an interesting discussion to see what we can then do together in our organizations.
And kind of what inspired you just when you first got the idea for this?
So I always saw that nonprofits sometimes have a hard time working together. And when we see that, we often see that there's a bad side effect to that, because we often go after the same funding, the same people to come to our events, the same supporters, and it doesn't work. But when we get the ability to bring those people together to say, hey, we're sharing funding sources, we're sharing ideas, or maybe we're collaborating on an event that benefits both of us, we see there are larger sustainable effects for Fresno and our entire Central Valley region.
And what was the process like, as far as, how'd you go about finding a space? What were you looking for? What did you have to go through to make it happen?
Yeah, so we worked with Veronica Stumpf, who's a local downtown Fresno broker, and we say that she specializes in finding good properties, because we wanted to originally be in the Tower District, but we came to downtown Fresno because we saw that there was a boom, and Veronica really showed us that downtown is such a growing area. It turned out that we found the space that we're currently at here on Tulare Street, and moved in within 2 weeks after signing papers, but it took another 3 months of renovation because Common Space in Phase 1 of Phase 2 really was supported by our entire team. So we were paying for all of the startup costs. We still are paying for the rent and utilities to make the space available in here. And it took the 3 months of painting everything. And from top to bottom, we pretty much replaced everything, because it used to be an old drug testing facility that we had to really warm up to see what you're seeing here today.
And what are some of the challenges that you faced making this happen?
Funding was a huge challenge, because we are all either working full-time or part-time or a student, so we didn't have the huge access to capital funds. But we're really saying that dreams do kind of come true when you see the effects of what we've done. It took 3 months, and it took a lot longer, but the outcomes of what we're seeing here today are amazing, in the fact that a product that we really created from the ground up and are still growing and developing has brought in over 60 events in our first 2 months of operations. We have about 10 different groups currently utilizing the space on a consistent basis. And our My LGBT Plus program that came under the Common Space umbrella is doing some amazing things of the fact that it's supporting a community that maybe oftentimes doesn't get the most attention. And we do Art Hop here every single month, and for our Art Hop here in June, it's an LGBT Plus Pride Month collective. And we had a young person say it's really their first time ever going somewhere that's so welcoming in the way that we look, but then also so welcoming in the fact that it's just a positive environment for everybody.
And what are some of the other groups that you mentioned that are involved right now?
We've hosted a couple of meetings for the Alzheimer's Association, the Walk to End Alzheimer's. My LGBT Plus meets here, as well as our Fresno's Meal program that feeds homeless individuals. We also see programs like Best Buddies, which works with students in middle school, high school, elementary, and soon-to-be college campuses at working with people with disabilities who maybe don't often get the attention that they need. And we work with another great group that's called RAW, which stands for Real Authentic Woman Wellness, and they're looking how can we provide resources and a support system to women of anything from the physical, sexual, emotional, mental health aspects. And it started by a new mom who is here in the Central Valley that wants to do great things.
Awesome. So tell us about some of the events, some of the other events that you've already had here.
So we've had Art Hop. So we've done Art Hop twice, and it's always a fun event because we always get a fun live music aspect as well as local art, and then we always do some fun food concepts. Last month we did a Make It Yourself Nacho Bar, which was a huge success. We've done a lot of social mixers though, because we find that support groups are great, but we oftentimes don't always need a support group specifically. If we bring our community together to socialize, they're seeing the effects of what it means to bring people together. And then we have some amazing events coming up too.
And what are some of those?
So for My LGBT+, we're actually doing things this month for LGBT+ Pride Month, because we're doing a queer poetry slam this Saturday. Next Saturday, all these events are on Facebook as well too, that we're doing a drag queen story hour where we have local drag kings and queens come together to read children's books, a huge concept that's been based out of New York. We're doing a trans clothing exchange closet where a trans individual can come and bring an outfit that no longer identifies with them and go home with a new outfit. Other events that we'll be doing this year are community barbecues. We'll be doing some more vendor fairs to highlight local businesses. And then we also do a Fresno coffee hour, which meets here every single month to have coffee. And it's community centered around coffee and conversation and games for a fun time.
And are you focusing specifically just on Fresno or any other parts of the valley?
So Fresno is where it all starts. We know that our brick and mortar space is here in downtown Fresno, but the motto that we say is that incredible things happen in the entire Central Valley, and we want to focus on how we can do that. The first steps that we've looked at are groups that are from outside of the area that come up here to utilize our space, but then also from like our artwork for Art Hop. We have a number of artists from the South Valley region, from Visalia and Tulare and down in that area, but we're going to find a way to kind of bring everybody together.
And what are some of your future hopes and goals with this space?
So right now we're in a 1,200 square foot model, and this is kind of the prototype of the beginning of what Common Space really is. We have nonprofits that work here, and we provide a lot of services and amenities to the nonprofit industry, but we know that we need more because we're already busting out the seams of what our current space can hold. It's an open layout, which means it's very versatile, but we're already looking at phase 2 of Common Space to open up in either the late summer or the late fall of 2018 in a 7,000 square foot model.
Oh wow, so would you be leaving the space or would it be addition to?
We would be leaving this space. The space that we're in now is more of the prototype, but it's a useful, effective prototype. And the color scheme, the welcoming environment, the furniture that you see here, and a lot of the creative aspects of it are going to come to the new space with us, but it's taking what we have here and expanding it by 7.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would like to share?
Come visit us. I think that's the biggest thing for us right now is we haven't done a lot of huge marketing, and it's word of mouth. And if you work at a nonprofit or if you volunteer at a nonprofit that needs event space or meeting space to host a board meeting, a social, a webinar, whatever it is, come talk to us because we're allowing this space to be utilized for free. And our team is still going to pay for it, but we want a space that's very community-oriented and as many people in the door to figure out what Common Space is and figure out ways that we can work together or put you in contact with another organization that does similar things to really build capacity and sustainability for our areas.
Great, so why don't you take us on a tour?
Sure. So here is our meeting space, and it really comes down to our motto of that incredible things really do happen in the Central Valley. We have restrooms on site, and we also have parking on site, and which is very unique for a location in downtown Fresno. You can see that the color scheme is very warm in the fact that we have sofas, and then a big positive is everyone loves our acrylic whiteboards and the fact that they really spur creativity. Come here, write your agendas, write down fun ideas. And then the artwork that you see on the wall is going to change every single month for Art Hop. And the fact that it's always going to be a collective style. We have a different artist on every single wall in this space currently. And it's very multifunctional. It's set up in a more loungy, comfortable style all the time. But if we needed a more professional development event, we can set up the tables and chairs when we get them. So if anyone wants to donate to help make that happen, that's our goal, is because we want to be able to cater to a professional environment, but also cater to a lot of the young professionals that utilize our space.
And want to go up front?
Yeah, come on. So same thing, local artwork. You can show a glimpse in here, it's dirty, but I mean, this is the real world of what it means to work in the nonprofit world. Is all of this stuff is what it takes to make a community program happen. Everything that you see up here is really community oriented, and our goal of saying that dreams can happen. We have free Wi-Fi, we have our TV that plays different events, but you'll see that it's just a grand scheme of fun stuff. And we have our events calendar up here that will tell you the different events, but we have like our kitchenette, and it's very cozy, it's very comfy, like home, and it's just comfortable. And I think the unique thing up here is that we were able to really revive and revitalize old pieces. So the piece that you see here, excuse the box because we're hanging up more artwork, but the piece here is actually from the old Cedar Lanes bowling alley. When they did their remodel in the 90s, we were able to revive this, and these are actually the alignment markers from the actual bowling lane.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a mix of old Fresno and new Fresno, and we're going to continue that on into phase 2. And the plans are actually up here on the wall, and they're going to be going up on our website eventually, but a phase 1 and a phase 2. But our mission is simple, is that we want to bring people together to create and collaborate these incredible possibilities. And what are the incredible possibilities? They're different for everybody, and they're always going to change, but our values of what we do is that it's equality and communication and teamwork that make working here at Common Space successful, because we say that awesomeness really begins here.
And just to clarify, it's just nonprofits that you work with?
So we work primarily, yes, with nonprofits, or any other community group. Say a school group wants to come here and utilize the space for some collective action that will happen.
Well, where can people find you online?
They can find us at www.commonspacefresno.org. We're on all social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, ever growing by the minute. But definitely check out our Facebook page, because that's where we post all of our events.
All right, well, thanks so much for chatting with us.
Thank you.